Only twice in the Open era have two men squared off in 3 consecutive finals for the right to be called Wimbledon champion. Before the Federer-Nadal trilogy, the Boris Becker versus Stefan Edberg series featured 2 of the game's most brilliant all-court battlers in a rivalry that crescendoed 30 years ago. In 1985, armed with the serve that earned him the nickname Boom Boom and brute force in every stroke, 17-year-old Boris Becker became the youngest men's champion at Wimbledon. By the following year, he felt like centre court belonged to him.
Especially for me on centre court, I always had a little bit more luck than my opponent on the centre court. I don't know why, but it just happened.
And he was crowned champion once again. But in 1987, he'd be stunned in the second round by the world number 70.
Duran has done it. Boris Becker, gracious in defeat.
I went out there and I was trying my best and I give it my best and I lost. Sure, I'm very disappointed. It's a big tournament. I'm defending champion. But I guess tomorrow morning when I wake up, it's going to hurt even worse.
Sweden's Stefan Edberg was the boys' champion in 1983. He was twice the Australian Open winner, but had never been to the Wimbledon final in 5 appearances. The youngest of 3 Swedish stars, he was often compared to Mats Wilander and Bjorn Borg, the latter whose disposition he emulated.
He's keeping cool, he's behaving very well on the court, he's got great manners, and I think a lot of us Swedes took after him in that respect.
Rain pushed the 1988 final over 2 days.
Boris was at the time my rival, who played many times beforehand. He'd actually won Wimbledon twice. Like he said many times, it was like playing in his living room, and to beat Boris at Wimbledon, especially in a final, you had to play some great tennis.
Although he won the first set, an increasingly frustrated Becker and his big serve were being mastered by the precision and pinpoint accuracy of Edberg.
It's been a dream of my whole life to be out there, and then actually to win it is a great relief. At the time I beat maybe the best grass court player there was.
A first Wimbledon title for the Swede, and only chapter 1 of a thrilling trilogy. While Becker maintained his brash thumping style, Edberg was more subtle, and their rivalry was blooming because of that great contrast.
Once we were on the court, even though we had 2 different tempos and characters, we had a lot of respect for each other.
By the time they met in their second straight final, it was their 18th career clash, Becker leading 10-7.
I was a little bit of the favorite going into that match. I got off to a terrible start. It was just uphill right from the beginning.
Becker was displaying the brand of tennis that had won him 2 previous titles here.
That was my best Wimbledon altogether, where I felt really, really strong.
The third Wimbledon crown for Boris, and the perfect stage set for fireworks in 1990. It wasn't a foregone conclusion a third Becker-Edberg clash would happen. Edberg took out world number 1 Ivan Lendl in the semi-finals. Becker beat teenager Goran Ivanisevic, and the third chapter was set.
what is the key to the match?
Well, the key is definitely how Stefan Edberg serves. The better he serves, the better his game is. For Boris Becker, it's the return, the high backhand return that he is going to have to hit time after time again off of that big kick serve of Edberg.
In less than an hour, Edberg had a 2-sets-to-love lead.
I felt quite right in the beginning of the match. I felt really good.
Here I'm way down in the final Wimbledon against my old enemy and friend, Stefan. I started to get nervous.
Down but not out, Becker summoned his best.
Then I think I dropped my serve at the beginning of the third set and oops, trouble. Boris sees his chance and starts picking up his game.
Winning sets 3 and 4, the German broke to lead 3-1 in the decider, but it wasn't over.
I started to, think about the moment, what it's going to feel like after I win. There was those 5 minutes which cost me the game.
He made an easy mistake on a forehand volley, which really let me in the match again, and that's really where it changed.
Edberg breaks back, and 4-4 in the 5th set, with Becker serving, proves a pivotal game.
It's a beautiful love. It's a wonderful love. He's done it. He's done it. He's done it.
One of my hardest losses, because I felt like I had the match in my pocket.
By being the best in the world, I think you create some sort of respect for one another.
I will never say I was better than Stefan, and you probably would never say he was better than me. We were very much equal. And it was just tennis. It was just being free in that moment on the court and see who's better. And I think that was the magic of our rivalry.